The movie opens and we see a man named Gary, who works on a tow truck. He's in the process of towing a car that belongs to Maddie. Maddie works as an Uber driver but has been facing financial difficulties lately, causing her to fall behind on her property taxes. Now, her car is being towed away. She pleads with Gary not to take her car, but Gary remains unyielding. It's revealed that Gary and Maddie share a history of a past relationship, and their interactions are tinged with mutual dislike. Maddie is desperate because her car is her sole source of income. She attempts to flirt with Gary to dissuade him from towing her car, and while he's momentarily swayed, the situation takes an unexpected turn. A young boy in his underwear emerges from Maddie's house, leading to further tension between Maddie and Gary. Maddie tries to convince Gary that the boy is her cousin, but the boy's behavior implies otherwise, infuriating Gary even more. Ultimately, Gary proceeds to tow Maddie's car away. Left without her car, Maddie's financial situation becomes even more dire. She resorts to rollerblading to get to her job as a bartender. On her way, she spots Gary's tow trucks near a store where he's buying food. Seizing the opportunity, Maddie attempts to drive her car, not realizing it's still attached to the tow truck. Gary intervenes and reports her to the police. Fortunately, a friend named Gabe comes to her rescue at the police station. Maddie vents about her life falling apart and heads to work at the bar. There, she gets into an argument with a customer, and her boss, Fern, reprimands her. Fern assigns Maddie the task of rolling napkins with her friends, Sarah, and her husband. During their conversation, Sarah shows Maddie a job posting. A wealthy couple is seeking a woman to date their introverted 19-year-old son to help him become more socially adept. The payment for this unconventional job is a Buick Regal. Although tempted by the offer, Maddie initially dismisses it, considering herself too old at 32. However, she later reflects on her late mother's wishes and the importance of keeping the house her mother left her. Determined to save her home, Maddie decides to pursue the job and arrives at the specified location to meet the wealthy couple. As Maddie sits down for an interview with the parents, things appear to be going smoothly until she discloses her true age, which disappoints the couple, as they are seeking a candidate in her mid-20s. Maddie realizes that to secure this opportunity, she must speak positively. She immediately tells the parents that she wants the job because she genuinely wants to help their son grow. The parents, Allison Laird, are impressed by her dedication and believe she is a good fit for the role. Laird explains that their son is introverted and they want him to have more experiences before college, as they fear it will be challenging for him. They mention that he volunteers at a dog shelter, prompting Maddie to start working there right away. She dresses in a revealing manner and pretends to be interested in adopting a dog as she approaches Percy, the boy she is assigned to. Maddie engages in seductive conversation with him, causing confusion. She then asks for his help in choosing a dog to adopt. The two go to an office where Percy enters her information into the system for the adoption of a black dog named Milo. Maddie continues her attempts to seduce Percy by displaying her body, but he becomes uncomfortable. She asks if he wants a ride home, but Percy is weirded out by her odd van, which reminds him of kidnappers. He decides to go home on his bike instead. Maddie places Percy's bike in her van and insists he gets in. She drives him to her place to seduce him, but Percy becomes frightened and sprays her eyes when he realizes her true intentions. Feeling guilty, he helps her recover from the pain. Percy then asks Maddie out, and she agrees to a date the following day. During the date, Maddie realizes that Percy is extremely introverted and cowardly. She takes him to a secluded beach at night and suggests skinny dipping, leaving Percy unsure of how to respond. While they are naked in the water, a group of teens steal their clothes. Maddie confronts the teens and retrieves her clothes, but Percy expresses his discomfort with her wild behavior. Annoyed, Maddie tells him that at least she took action. She attempts to seduce him again, but Percy refuses to engage in intimate activities with someone he barely knows. Maddie becomes further annoyed and gets in her car to leave. Percy pleads for his clothes while fully naked, but Maddie continues driving. He clings onto the car as Maddie spots a police car approaching. Fearing the consequences, she speeds past a train to escape, barely making it to the other side. Eventually, Percy calms down, and Maddie takes him to her place. She dances for him, and as he sits on the couch, she positions herself in front of him and asks him to smack her bottom. Confused, Percy kicks her instead, angering Maddie. She then sits on his lap, but he expresses discomfort. Maddie makes him sit on her lap like a baby. Maddie suggests being intimate, assuring Percy they can take it slow, but he admits he is too inexperienced for her. He begins scratching his body, revealing anxiety-induced rashes. Maddie tends to him, and he starts opening up. They decide to take things slow and continue dating, sharing their lives with each other. Maddie and Percy's relationship continued to blossom as they spent more time together. They developed a routine of meeting each other regularly, and Maddie had a knack for pushing Percy out of his comfort zone and encouraging him to embrace new experiences. One evening, Percy decided to surprise Maddie by taking her out to a fancy dinner. Feeling emboldened, Percy leaned in and kissed Maddie, surprising her with his boldness. Percy's friend, Jody, had concerns about Maddie's intentions and doubted her sincerity. When Percy was away, Jody took the opportunity to confront Maddie, questioning her motives and asking her what she truly wanted with his friend. Later that day, Maddie found herself at home hanging out with her friend Sarah and her husband, when a man named Doug knocked on her door. He claimed to be there to repossess her house. Fiercely protective of her home, Maddie refused to give it up without a fight. She firmly told Doug to bug off and close the door, determined to hold on to what was rightfully hers. Despite the challenges they faced, Maddie and Percy were excited about their upcoming prom date. Percy, feeling more confident than ever, arrived at Maddie's house in a luxurious limousine, ready to sweep her off her feet. They headed to Percy's prom, where Percy hoped to avoid drawing attention from his schoolmates. As Percy played, Maddie watched with pride, knowing that she had played a part in helping him find his confidence and share his gift with others. He even surprises everyone by singing, captivating the audience with his talent. Maddie is awed by Percy's abilities, and when he finishes his song, the crowd erupts in applause. During this moment, a school friend named Natalie approaches Percy, assuming that Maddie is his babysitter. Maddie is offended by the assumption but doesn't vocalize it. Natalie invites them to a party, and while Maddie signals her reluctance to attend, Percy agrees to go. This leads to an argument between them, and they end up sitting apart. Maddie realizes that they won't be going where she had planned. Eventually, Percy reveals that they are headed to Natalie's party. As they enter Natalie's place, Maddie starts checking the various rooms for Percy. Unable to find him, she becomes increasingly frustrated. When she stumbles upon a locked room, she knocks, but there's no response. Annoyed, she kicks open the door, only to find Percy in bed with Natalie. Natalie swears to Maddie that nothing happened between them. Concerned, Maddie asks Percy if he took any pills, and he admits to it. She rushes him to the bathroom and helps him vomit the pill. Meanwhile, a boy she had previously clashed with at the party, accompanied by his father, approaches Maddie. The father tells her that the party is for teenagers and that she doesn't belong there. He insists that she leaves, but Maddie explains that she's there to take Percy. An altercation ensues, and Percy, trying to defend Maddie, ends up accidentally hitting her on the neck. The impact is painful, and they quickly retreat to their limo to leave. Percy apologizes to Maddie for not listening to her earlier and confesses that he's now ready for a real relationship. He expresses his love for her, but Maddie, concerned about his inebriation and their circumstances, advises against pursuing anything while he's drunk. She also suggests that he shouldn't make such confessions in his current state. The next morning, Percy tells his father that he wants to get his own driver's license so he can spend more time with Maddie. While his parents are initially pleased, their happiness fades when Percy reveals that he won't be attending Princeton University because he doesn't want to be away from Maddie. The parents promptly call Maddie, informing her that their arrangement is terminated. They express concern that Percy has become overly attached to her and insist that she must stop seeing their son. However, they do acknowledge that she fulfilled her part of the deal by helping Percy come out of his shell. They allow her to pick up the promised car since she kept her end of the bargain. Percy sits in the Buick Regal while his mother's phone unintentionally connects to the car's system. Although Percy's mother can't hear the conversation, Percy overhears Maddie discussing whether the car will be given to her if she convinces Percy to attend Princeton. This revelation shatters him, realizing that his parents hired Maddie to manipulate him into certain actions. He decides not to confront anyone just yet and invites Maddie over for dinner that evening without consulting his parents. During dinner, Percy keeps insulting Maddie, provoking her annoyance. He eventually receives a phone call and steps out. Enraged, Percy destroys the Buick Regal with the help of a friend. Afterward, he heads straight to his room, with Maddie following him. Maddie inquires about his well-being, and Percy attempts to kiss her, but she halts him. His reaction to this rejection is negative, and Maddie proposes intimacy, to which Percy agrees. However, their encounter is brief, and Percy acknowledges that he's aware of the deal Maddie made with his parents. Maddie gets dressed, and they decide to end their relationship. Percy confronts his parents about their manipulative scheme and insists on independence. He makes it clear that he wants to succeed on his terms without their involvement. Percy reverts to his introverted lifestyle, staying in his room and immersing himself in gaming. Meanwhile, Maddie receives the damaged Buick Regal but starts working as an Uber driver, gradually improving her financial situation. She celebrates her success with friends and achieves her financial goals, even paying off her debts. Maddie decides to sell her house and apologizes to Percy before leaving. Initially unresponsive, Percy finally talks to her after a chance encounter while driving to the beach. They reconcile, and Percy reveals his plan to attend Princeton. Maddie discloses her decision to move to California since she has no close ties left in the city. They promise to remain friends. Maddie sells her house to Sarah and her husband at an affordable price before departing for California. During the journey, she reveals that she adopted a black dog named Milo. The movie concludes on this note, with the characters' paths diverging as they embark on new chapters in their lives.